How many hours of your life have you spent spinning someone around in your mind? Imagining conversations that never happened, replaying scenes that are long gone, or crafting scenarios that may never come to pass. Overthinking someone is like willingly chaining yourself to a ghost. It drains your energy, dulls your focus, and robs you of the joy of the present moment. Today, I bring you a challenge. Stop being a slave to these thoughts and reclaim your power. You cannot control what others do, feel, or say, but you can decide what to let into your mind and what to let go. This video is not for passive viewers, but for those ready to take action. In just a few minutes, you'll see step-by-step how to emotionally let go of someone, free yourself, and call back the inner peace you thought you'd lost. Before we begin, I ask you to take a small but powerful step. Write in the comments with all your determination. Today, I control my thoughts. This isn't just a comment, it's a promise to yourself. Every repetition, every word embeds itself in your subconscious. Every time you see it, you remind yourself, you are the master of your mind, not its prisoner. Now, let's dive deep. You'll learn how mental obsession works, what false assumptions fuel it, and how to extinguish it step by step. If you're ready, let's build that Stoic mindset together. One that takes control from within, not from the outside, and finds shelter even in the storm. Let's move to the first lesson. Lesson 1. Recognizing overthinking as a mental hook. When you endlessly ruminate about someone, it's not the person occupying your mind. It's a mental hook you've latched onto. This hook often stems from a need for control, waiting for a message that never comes, forcing answers that were never given, or trying to predict the future. Your mind replays its own story until it feels real, and that's where the pain begins. Overthinking is often fueled by unmet expectations. If they don't reply, they don't care. If they ignore me, they don't love me. Are these bare facts or interpretations? Most often, they're emotionally charged interpretations that turn into chains, leaving you dependent on a response, validation, or proof of care. Your mind, instead of flowing like a river, becomes a whirlpool spinning in on itself. The first step to freedom is naming it. This is a thought, not reality. Saying this creates a small but decisive distance between you and your mind. You're no longer lost in the story it's weaving. You're an observer watching from outside. Each time an obsessive thought arises, repeating this practice weakens its grip. You're telling your mind, I hear you, but I won't let you drag me in. Writing is a powerful tool here. Jot down thoughts like, if they don't reply, they don't care. By transferring the weight of your emotions from your mind to paper, the thought becomes bare, allowing you to ask, is this a fact or a story my mind created? Often, you'll see it's a fabricated narrative, and this realization brings instant relief. Another practice is conscious breathing. For 30 seconds, focus solely on your breath, and the image of that person weakens. Your mind can't be in two places at once. It's either chasing thoughts or resting in your breath. Returning to the present is a safe anchor, where the storm of assumptions doesn't rage. Doing this exercise a few times a day retrains your mind. At first, it feels hard because overthinking is a deep habit. But with persistence, the fuel for those obsessive thoughts runs dry, and the fire begins to die out. What felt suffocating yesterday becomes a distant murmur today. The fruit of this discipline is clarity. Your mind stops producing storms and starts seeing things as they are. You stop trying to control what others think. You return to the only space you can control, your focus. Your energy is no longer held hostage by others. It returns to you. The Stoic perspective is clear. Most of our troubles come from clinging to what we cannot control. Thoughts are like clouds. You can't stop them from coming, but you can choose not to turn them into a storm. Recognizing that an obsession is just a mental hook is the critical threshold of insight. So, when your mind returns to the same story, don't fight it. Observe it, name it, this is a thought, then return to the present. Do this with patience, determination, and self-compassion. Over time, the obsessive voice quiets, leaving a calm space where you can live more lightly. Because it was never them binding you. It was your mind. And the moment you see this, the key appears in your hand. Summary of Lesson 1. Breaking free from mental obsessions doesn't happen with grand gestures, but with small, consistent practices. When thoughts arise, instead of getting swept away, silently say, "This is a thought, not reality." Writing it down and examining whether it's a fact or just a story helps you see clearly. Then, for 30 seconds, focus on your breath. Count: inhale 1, exhale 1, inhale 2, exhale 2. Repeating this simple exercise 3 times a day creates a healthy distance between you and your mind. That distance is true freedom, and with it, the fundamental power of self-mastery returns to you. Lesson 2. Letting go of people in your mind. The space we give someone in our mind is often far greater than their actual place in our life. Even if we physically let someone go, we keep them alive in our thoughts for days, weeks, or months, replaying what they said, what they didn't do, or the voids they left. Without realizing it, we make them the protagonist of our inner world, even when they no longer play an active role. It's like carrying unnecessary weight on your shoulders. The burden isn't them. It's the unfinished stories we hold about them. There's an old parable about 2 monks walking through a forest. They come across a woman by a river, too scared to cross. The older monk, without a word, carries her across and sets her down. They continue on, but the younger monk is furious. Touching a woman is forbidden by their teachings. Finally, he snaps, "How could you touch a woman? Don't you know it's against our rules?" The older monk calmly replies, "I left that woman at the river hours ago, but you're still carrying her." We do the same. Even when someone is gone from our life, we carry them in our mind. The real chain isn't physical, it's mental. Letting someone go in your mind doesn't mean erasing them or wishing them ill. It means stopping giving them the starring role. When you stop replaying events or reimagining details, the shadow of the past no longer falls on your present. Ask yourself quietly, am I still carrying this person in my mind? This awareness is the first link in loosening the chain, because often it's not the person but the story we hold about them that exhausts us. Writing is a powerful way to make this concrete. Write down, what hurt me? What's lingering inside me? When you put abstract emotions into words, they become tangible. Looking at them, you see the chain is made of thought, not substance. Sometimes saying aloud, "I'm no longer carrying this story," is surprisingly liberating. This sentence closes a door in your inner world, stopping the past from seeping in. What others do, think, or understand is beyond your control, but how much space they occupy in your mind is entirely up to you. Constantly offering them a seat is like renting out your inner space. Reclaiming that space is an act of self-worth. When your mind returns to the same story, saying, "I'm here, breathing now," brings you back to the present. Each breath is a small but powerful way to step out of the past's shadow. With consistent practice, you'll notice thoughts that once consumed hours now just knock and pass. Memories that once stung become quiet echoes. Because you're in control, others' actions no longer dictate your mood. The spotlight of your mental stage returns to you. True freedom isn't in casting someone out of your mind, but in handing the center of your inner world back to yourself. Lesson 3. Seeing thoughts as passing shadows. Not every thought that crosses your mind is reality. Sometimes a sentence or memory passes through like a fleeting shadow in the sky and disappears. But when you cling to that shadow, you amplify it, darken it, and turn it into a storm. "They don't care about me anymore," or "they ignored me" may just be fleeting thoughts, but repeating them makes them seem like reality, casting a shadow over your entire day. The key to mental freedom is seeing thoughts as they are and letting them pass without clinging. Imagine your mind as a vast sky and thoughts as clouds. They come, linger, and go. If you don't chase or hold them, the sky clears again. Mental freedom isn't about stopping clouds, but allowing them to drift. Taking every thought seriously is like saying to every cloud, "You must stay." Instead, lean back and watch them like you'd watch the sky. In daily life, this is simpler than it sounds. When a thought arises, You don't need to analyze or react emotionally. Silently saying, "This is just a thought," creates a small but powerful distance. This distance stops the thought from dragging you along. Then for a minute, focus on your breath, counting each inhale and exhale. The thought loses its grip, like a bored audience leaving the stage. With time, this habit reshapes your mind. At first, thoughts may still feel strong, pulling you in, but each time you observe and let them pass, their power weakens. Days later, you'll notice thoughts that once consumed your day now scatter in seconds because you no longer react or fight them. You simply watch. This is a cornerstone of Stoic philosophy. We can't control external events or initial thoughts, but we can choose how to respond. Seeing thoughts as passing shadows is one of the most powerful Stoic practices. You don't chase or argue with a shadow. You let it pass. Your mind works the same way. As you observe without reacting, its power over you fades. With practice, no thought can easily shake you. The sky remains the sky. Clouds come and go. You are that sky, not the fleeting shadows. This realization makes mental freedom permanent. Lesson 4. Filling the inner void with gratitude. Behind fixation on someone or a situation often lies an unseen void. When the mind senses this void, it tries to fill it with someone's attention, approval, or memories. The more space that person occupies in your mind, the larger that inner sense of lack grows. This void is like an echo waiting to be filled by something external. But true fulfillment lies in the richness already within you, often overlooked. One of the most effective ways to break mental fixation is to shift your focus from what's missing to what's present. Gratitude. Practicing gratitude redirects your mind. Focusing on what you lack magnifies every absence, making every unmet expectation heavier. When someone doesn't call or act as you hoped, dwelling on that lack pulls you into a mental quagmire. But when you notice the morning sunlight, your breath, a friend's presence, or a moment of peace, the void's grip weakens. A mind focused on abundance can't cling to fixation as fiercely. To start this shift, adopt a small but consistent habit. Each day, take a notebook and write 3 things you're grateful for. They don't need to be grand. A sunny day after clouds, a shared smile, or solving a small problem with your own effort. The key is training your mind to see what's present, not what's absent. Over time, this rewires your brain, weakening the paths that amplify lack and strengthening those that notice abundance. Expressing gratitude deepens this effect. A simple thank you to someone or silently saying thank you to yourself reinforces this focus. Gratitude is like filling a glass with water. There's less room for old fixations as the void fills. Stoics align with this. Happiness lies not in external approval or possessions, but in appreciating what's already yours. Each day, seeing what you have frees you from fixation and expectations weight. The void that once felt dependent on someone else fades into quiet contentment. With practice, someone not calling no longer triggers lack. You've filled that space by leaning into your own awareness. Gratitude isn't about erasing someone or the past. It's about redirecting your focus to your inner strength. As this takes root, the chains of fixation loosen, and a quiet, unshakable peace emerges. You're no longer incomplete. You're whole within. Lesson 5. Letting go of the illusion of control. One of the mind's greatest burdens is believing you can control others' thoughts, feelings, or actions. Wanting someone to understand you, act a certain way, or respond as expected is natural. But turning that desire into a necessity starts an endless mental loop. Why did they do that? What did I say wrong? How can I change them? These questions gnaw like a parasite. The truth is, you cannot control what someone thinks, feels, or does. Trying is like catching the wind in your hands. It only exhausts you. Much of obsessive thinking stems from this illusion of control. When someone doesn't meet your expectations, your mind scrambles to fix the situation or reshape their behavior with imagined scenarios. But the outcome is always the same. Reality lies beyond your reach, unchanged. Facing this truth may sting, but it carries immense freedom. It redirects your energy from futile efforts to the only place you can influence, yourself. To refocus, Remind yourself silently, I can only control my own attitude, not others' actions. This opens a door when your mind tries to trap you in an uncontrollable cycle. Your focus returns to you. Writing what's truly in your control, your reactions, choices, thoughts, and what you nurture, redraws your mental boundaries. The weight of what you can't control lifts. Sometimes engaging your body breaks this cycle faster than your mind. When a person or event consumes you, stand up and walk for 5 minutes. Focus on your steps, breath, or surroundings. Physical movement breaks mental gridlock, pulling you back to the present. With repetition, your mind learns to return to your sphere of influence instead of chasing control. Others' actions stop being tidal waves. You become a rock, standing firm. Stoics emphasize distinguishing what you can and cannot control. Trying to manage others' decisions or feelings breeds frustration, but shaping your mindset and actions is where true power begins. Accepting what you can't control isn't surrender, it's liberation. You stop wasting energy and become the captain of your own life. Lesson 6. Separating love from dependency. At the root of mental fixation often lies a concept we mistake for love: dependency. Constantly thinking of someone, feeling restless without them, or letting their actions dictate your mood is often mistaken for love or attachment. But true love is free. It doesn't control, demand, or enslave the mind. Dependency, disguised as love, is fear. Fear of loss, rejection, or loneliness. These fears keep your mind on edge, turning every message, silence, or action into monumental meanings. Your mind shifts from love to fear-driven reactions. Recognizing this distinction is a turning point for freedom. Ask yourself honestly, am I thinking of this person out of love or fear of loss? This question cuts through mental fog like a clear line. True love carries a lightness, even when thinking of someone. It's about their well-being, not expecting reciprocation or seeking constant validation. Dependency clings tightly, fearing it'll vanish if you let go. Seeing this difference exposes fixation's roots. To reinforce this, write, I love, but I don't need to control. This redefines love, peeling away fear's layers. Each time you write it, you separate love from dependency further. You realize you don't need to hold someone in your mind. True love includes their freedom. Before bed, reflect for a few minutes on which thoughts stem from love and which from fear. I want them to be happy is open. What if they drift away? Is a chain. This inquiry brings clarity. Over time, you stop blindly following every mental scene. You examine its source. Stoics teach that true love is independent of control. Trying to govern another's will is neither natural nor possible. Love thrives with freedom. When your mind chooses love over dependency, fixation's fuel runs out. Loving someone isn't chaining them in your mind. It's letting them go when needed. When love is free of fear, your mind calms, thoughts lighten, and that person becomes a gentle breeze, not a storm. You no longer feel guilt or lack when not thinking of them. A quiet balance emerges. Love's value lies not in mentally holding someone, but in freely accepting their existence. That's where fixation begins to unravel. Lesson 7. Observing thoughts, not reacting. When your mind fixates on someone, the flood of thoughts about what they said, didn't say, or what could happen feels uncontrollable. It's like a vortex pulling you in. The worst part is feeling like a prisoner to your own thoughts. But you don't have to react to every thought. You don't need to analyze, believe, or follow them. You can simply observe them, creating distance. Picture your mind as a sky and thoughts as clouds. Some light, some stormy, but all temporary. If you don't cling to them, they drift away. Reacting hands your power to them. When a thought arises, saying, "This is just a thought, not reality," draws a line between you and it. The thought no longer defines you. You're an observer. Visualize it as a cloud, neither pushing nor holding it, just noticing it pass. This visualization strengthens mental distance. If thoughts feel overwhelming, focus on your breath. Close your eyes, inhale deeply, and exhale while counting to 5. Repeat a few times. Your mind's energy shifts to the present, and the thought fades, Practicing this a few times daily builds a habit. At first, thoughts may pull you in, but with each observation, their grip weakens. You stop panicking or arguing with them. You know they're temporary visitors. Stoics teach we can't control initial thoughts but can choose our response. This choice is true freedom. Observing without reacting loosens mental chains. Storms that once consumed you become passing clouds. As you realize you're the sky, not the shadows, no thought can easily shake you. Lesson 8. Breaking mental cycles with physical movement. When your mind loops around the same thoughts about someone or an event, it feels like being lost in a labyrinth. You repeat the same sentences, replay the same scenes, ask the same questions. Thinking your way out seems impossible. Sometimes the solution isn't mental, it's physical. Movement breaks the chain of obsessive thoughts with surprising speed, pulling you from your head into the present. When you catch yourself stuck, stand up and move. Walk for a few minutes, stretch, or pace your room. Focus on your steps, breath, or the feel of air on your skin. The mental noise, words, and images starts to fade. Your mind can't stay in a thought spiral and fully engage with physical sensations simultaneously. Music amplifies this. Play a rhythmic song and move, walk, sway, or dance. It's not about perfection but shifting focus to your body. Within minutes, the thoughts that gripped you lose intensity. Your mental frequency shifts, like changing channels. Doing this regularly, not just in crisis, prevents obsessive patterns. Short walks or stretches when mental intensity rises retrain your mind. Your body is a ready door to balance, just step through. Stoics teach that you can't control others' actions or every thought, but you can choose to move your body. This pulls you from mental darkness into tangible action. With practice, thoughts that once consumed hours dissolve with a few minutes of movement. The exit from the mental labyrinth lies in your steps, not words. Lesson 9. Using breath as a mental anchor. When your mind loops around someone or a story, what you need isn't more analysis but an anchor to the present. That anchor is always with you. Your breath. Conscious breathing is one of the simplest yet most powerful ways to quiet mental noise. It pulls you from the past or possibilities into the here and now. When an obsessive thought arises, pause. Slowly inhale through your nose, feeling the air fill your lungs. Exhale through your mouth, counting to 5. Repeat 3 or 4 times. Notice how this simple act shifts your mind's intensity. Your mind can't fully focus on both breath and mental scenes. Breathing pulls thoughts to the background. Making conscious breathing a habit strengthens mental balance daily, not just in crises. Set times, morning, a break, or before bed, for short breath exercises. This trains your mind to stay present, so when intense emotions or thoughts hit, you return to now quickly. Feel the air, your chest rising and falling, the coolness and warmth. You're no longer replaying the past or future, you simply are. Stoics see breath as a bridge to calm your inner world. Without changing the outside, a few conscious breaths can stop an inner storm. This is taking your power back. Lesson 10. Living from love, not fear. Many looping thoughts about someone or a situation stem from fear, not the present, fear of rejection, being unimportant, or things not going as imagined. These fears multiply silently, settling at the center of your thoughts. They disguise themselves as rational concerns, but are chains pulling your mind into defense mode. The way out is choosing to live from love, not fear. Here, love isn't romantic. It's an open, secure connection to yourself and the world. Fear makes every step defensive. You shape words to avoid criticism, adjust actions to dodge rejection, and obsess over others' reactions. This disconnects you from yourself. Love grounds you in your values, widening your mental space. When fear starts spinning a scenario, pause and ask, am I thinking from fear or love? If it's fear, take a breath and reset your intent. I'll face this with openness and sincerity. This shifts your mind from fear's narrow corridor to love's open field. Choose a guiding value, like honesty or respect, to anchor you. When your mind calculates others' judgments, ask, am I acting in line with my value? This pulls focus from external fears to your inner compass. This shift isn't instant, but grows with each conscious choice. Each time you choose love, fear's patterns weaken. Thoughts that once consumed you lose their pull. You've moved from fear's grip to love's guidance. Stoics stress inner order over external validation. You can't control how others see you, but you can choose your intent. Love-driven intent frees your mind from fear's chains, bringing simpler thoughts and balanced emotions. Lesson 11. Accepting impermanence with grace. One reason your mind clings to someone or a moment is its quiet refusal to accept life's impermanence. We act as if people will stay forever, moments will last, or nothing will change. When we resist this truth, our mind tries to hold on to what's gone, fueling fixation. Embracing impermanence is a powerful way to loosen this grip with grace. Your fixation isn't about losing someone's place in your life, but about resisting that their place has changed. Accepting this lets the past release your hands. It's not loss, it's maturity. Knowing something is temporary doesn't diminish its value, it makes it more precious. Ask, if this person or moment is just a chapter in my life, how would I see it? This softens mental rigidity, letting you see life as a flowing river. Departures, fading memories, or closing chapters become natural, not dramatic losses. This perspective shakes fixation's roots. Your mind loses its excuse to cling. Accepting impermanence isn't erasing or devaluing. It's honoring with gratitude. When a memory arises saying that was beautiful and now it's past, acknowledges its worth and returns you to now. Practice this daily. At the end of a conversation, sunset, or day, silently say, "This moment won't return." This softens your mind's clinging reflex. Over time, someone's departure or a chapter's end stops sparking storms. You see impermanence as life's nature, not a threat. Stoics, like Marcus Aurelius, reminded themselves daily of life's fragility and impermanence, not to lessen love, but to deepen appreciation. Embracing this dissolves the tension of clinging. Memories that once consumed you become faint echoes. You live without resisting or clinging to the past, a graceful release that lightens your mind and brings calm. You no longer fight change, but flow with life's rhythm. Lesson 12. Nurturing inner silence to quiet mental noise. When your mind fixates on someone, a memory, or a story, a constant hum forms, an inner voice questioning, replaying, and creating scenarios. This noise becomes so normal you barely notice it. The real issue isn't the abundance of thoughts, but the absence of silence. Silence isn't emptiness. It's a fertile space where thoughts dissolve and fixations lose power. Learning to nurture this inner silence reduces fixation's grip. At first, silence can feel unsettling as suppressed thoughts and emotions surface. Turning off your phone, music, or conversation may make your mind feel louder. This is natural. Your mind is relearning silence. If you stay with it gently, that inner space opens. Thoughts become passing waves. Start small. Sit for 5 minutes daily without distractions. Close your eyes or focus on a point and observe your mind without interfering. Thoughts will come. Don't push or follow them. Just let them pass. This opens the door to inner silence. Over time, extend it to 10 to 15 minutes. Spending time in nature deepens this. Sitting in a park, listening to the wind or leaves, softens mental noise. Nature's silence echoes in your inner world. Combined with solitude, this fosters introspection. Fixations dissolve in this calm space because the inner hum fueling them fades. Stoics, like Marcus Aurelius, found refuge in inner silence even amid chaos. Peace lies not in a quiet world, but in a quiet mind. This silence isn't escape. It's how you coexist with thoughts without letting them rule. With practice, fixations that once consumed you lose strength. A stillness emerges, like clear air after rain. Thoughts still come, but don't stay. Thank you for watching.